right, we are live. Hi, James.
Good morning, Dave. How are you doing today?
Very
Good morning,
good, thank
Dave.
you.
How are you doing today?
So we are. I got
I got the distress calls via Twitter that our lovely site here, genfu.io, was a little bit of putting some prophecy out there, I guess, for ASP.NET 5. We're late or early, but either way, it's not right. So, minor change here. For those of you who don't know, Genfu, just like from the top of my head, like just off the cuff, I would call it a test and prototype data generation library that understands different topics and uses that understanding to populate commonly named properties using reflection and an internal database of values or randomly created data.
Just off the
That's
top of your head.
pretty,
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah. So
So if you see this little class here, we click generate test data, and it sends this class. What it actually does in this particular case on the website is it takes these properties and this class and throws it in. It actually compiles this class on the server, and then uses Genfu to create this data. And so you can see you get a realistic set of data, which you can download as JSON. I think we had big plans back in the day that we were gonna create a service that you could
So we did
subscribe
this
to.
way back in the day, and this was way before try.net existed, where you could type C# code in the browser and run it and see the results. So this is actually sending the C# over to the server.
Yeah, in
and
fact,
running it on
this
the server generating the data and then rendering that table for you.
and we actually had three or four.
and we actually had 3 or 4 members of the ASP.NET and the .NET team actually helping us to get this working because we were a little early. What was the set? You said the site was running
ASP.NET
on
Core 1.0.4.
0.4, and actually that was the updated
0.4, and
It
actually
was.
that was the updated version of the site because we originally had it running on beta 6, I want to
Yeah,
say,
you're right.
of .NET Core. So
So needless to say,
good times. And so needless to say, Dave went and updated the site to 3.1, and we ran into some things. And this website, somebody pointed out that we were targeting ASP.NET 5, which
used to be wanted on,
Yeah,
that's
before
what it
they
used to be
renamed it
wanted
ASP.NET Core.
to be called.
and then what we're do. So what?
And then what we're do. So what? I guess
Yeah.
Dave, you went to try and update the site, and then
So I
we
did
kind
get
of
the
hit a
site
deployment.
updated over on our GitHub repo, so it's all updated to 3.1, but our automated deployment, I guess, hadn't run in a few years, so we're going to have a look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe, the first thing I found when I was looking at the site was that kind of had some flashback stuff here because there was a point in time at which .NET Core wasn't really well supported in Azure, and so there was some trickery that you had to do, and some of the recommended guidance or workarounds that people had developed was, I can't remember if it was actually recommended guidance or not, but you set up a couple of deployment slots, and I remember tongue-in-cheekily, we set up production blue, green, and orange, because monsters. And I was able to download the publishing profile and publish out to this Genfu production blue, and I was able to swap to that and have that work. However, I think we're just going to take a different approach today, Dave.
I think this is a pretty good candidate here to just use like the automated deployments right inside Azure here, inside App Service, where we just connect it to the GitHub repo.
Right, and we're just going to, I think the one thing that we're going to want to, the one little hiccupery that we might need to look at is because there's a number of projects in here. We've got Genfu, we've got web, and we've got HTML helpers. So that's the only little snag. We had a script in there before. We had a kudu script. So as I was looking at this, I'll just dump this this blue one here. We'll get out of this slot, and then we'll look at what was actually set up. By the way, this is something that we literally haven't looked at in 2.5 years. So we're just trying to figure this out as we go. So I've got I'm looking at blue. So I'll close this, and can we? What do we want to do here? We're going to delete this deployment slot. Going further, we'll delete the deployment slot. So, and that should be good. Production blue, you are gone.
Gone. Cool.
Okay, Gonzo. Just make sure this still works. Yeah, and that was the active slot, so production was fine. So we'll go back to deployment slots.
Perfect.
And we see there's just our active slot there. Okay, so now we're going to go to our deployment center. And this was the second piece that kind of clued us in that something was a little bit not happy this morning. Just let this load up. Oh, it thinks I'm still in deployment slots. Let me go back home here. Genfu. Oh, we have other stuff going on here. See, I told you there was way more going on.
Though, did a bunch
Correct.
Of work over the last couple weeks. That's not listed there.
For sure. And then, so this is one this morning. So when we looked at this earlier, actually, there were a couple of merges from August of 2017, and that was not there. And now those ones are actually gone, and it looks like there's only so many logs stored.
Logs for that most recent one that failed.
The one that failed. So this one I did try to pull down with a manual sync, and we've got some logs here. So generating deployment script using cached version of deployment script.
So that script does what?
So command Azure Y no dot deployment. Tools. Solution file. So it's got it specifies the project that we're trying to develop. So where is this deployment script though? What is this coming from?
Run deployment command. Is that the one that we're looking at right now? Or are we looking at the generate script?
I'm looking at generating deployment script. So we can, and this one says, okay, running deployment command says command home site deployments tools deploy.cmd.
3.1 on here. Interesting. Actually, do we have a global.json that's maybe pointing to the wrong thing?
Locking us in to something? That is a potential possibility.
I don't see one.
There is a global JSON in the solution level. Oh. A document cannot be opened. It's been renamed, deleted, or removed. So. Okay.
Is there a setting in Azure then for which version of core?
Under configuration. General settings. Stack is .NET. Framework version is 4.7. I'm actually.
Oh no, we had it running on that slot.
I'm still interested in finding. Oh.
It should work. It definitely supports 3.1.
Yes, because I sent it straight out, like from Visual Studio. That worked. So, but I'm interested in this though. Like, where is this? This must be the Kudu local cache thing or something, right? This deploy.cmd
inside the Kudu portal, yes, I believe, but it's, yeah, I wonder why it's talking about 2.2 there. It's specifically referencing 2.2, which is not even a supported version of the SDK anymore.
Mm-hmm. So is deploy.cmd something that we wrote, or is this
so. Maybe it just has to do with when we created the deployment thing. I don't think we have a deploy.cmd.
Okay, so can
I'm
we
tempted to just disconnect this and start over.
Okay, so maybe I should just
yeah.
Just this is too much legacy stuff that just is unhappy, and we'll just wait for that to complete.
Can you go to where are we trying to get to here? Extensions, site extensions. Down below a little. Under development tools, extensions. I think we need to remove that. I think that's the problem. So we have an extension, well, part of the problem anyway. We have an extension in here that was pointing to a preview of Asp.NET Core 2.
Okay, so this is loaded up. I'll just delete this from the site. And you don't have any extensions installed. So we'll go back to the deployment center, and this looks like it's done. So I'm just going to pull it out of our GitHub. Continue. Now, so we've got our two options. One is to use App Service as the build server. The other one is to use Azure Pipelines.
Yeah.
Just continue with the built-in bits, okay? And Mr. James,
actually like to use,
I have
use GitHub Actions to do this deployment. I'm going to do a couple episodes.
Sure.
Of Monsters Weekly on GitHub Actions because I spent some time working on adding that into GenFoo. So right now we have a CI build that just does a build and test every time we check something into master or do a PR. And then we also have a release one that generates our NuGet packages.
Yeah, and just to
send up to NuGet every time we do a release.
So when the release action fires, we might as well deploy out to the site as well, right? Okay. So the one hiccup that we have here, of course, we can select a branch, but we can't tell it which project is the web project. So I feel like this is still going to fail. Let's give it the good college try. Maybe it's smart enough to pick up.
But you're probably right. It doesn't really know.
Right. Yeah.
Which one to deploy. It can't just deploy an assembly. We'll at least see here if it builds. It should be able to build this solution if it can find it.
Right. And we'll get past that part.
It might not find the solution because it's not in the root folder. I actually don't know how this works.
There's some automatic exploratory stuff that happens, but I just don't feel like it's going to be.
So it looks like the same thing as doing before.
It does, and targeting there, and
.NET 2.2.
I wonder if we need to stop and start the site though, because it may load the extensions when.
It was 2.0 that we deleted. So.
No, it wasn't. That's right. Yeah.
Head over to the Kudo portal.
Sure.
I'm looking at a site here that says how to determine the installed .NET version. Oh, that's full framework though.
Should be able to just like .NET. Is that here?
It is.
Yeah. So list runtimes, right?
List SDKs because we're trying to compile. Yeah, it does not have
Good call.
3.1. So we can install it with a site extension. I'm just surprised that we have to do that.
So I wonder if we go the. Oh, I actually wanted to see though too. If there was under. What was it under? There was under deployments, tools, deploy.cmd, and I just wanted to check and see if we needed to specify. We'll just come back to this if we need to, but I just wanted to see if we needed to specify the project name. But I remember muddling. That's awesome. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I guess
absolutely.
so.
Okay, so should we install the extension then? And
it looks like it. Let's. So when you're creating a new
choose
one,
extension.
I think it will default to the latest, but I'm surprised that it. Oh, just a sec here. That's for Linux. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Did you want me to go ahead with this, or were you looking into something else first?
That's just 3.1.
So we'll get this
latest.
installed.
There's no preview tag on that or anything.
Let me double check. Well, it's in process now. So the 3.1 x64 runtime with 3.11 with no update available.
So I feel like that should compile now.
So let's head back up to our.
Although we could go check the console, Kudo console there and just double check the version.
Sure thing. I wonder this console was started. Let me go back.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm on localhost and I do a
Weird.
Interesting. Well, I have site extensions in here, and there's a 3.1 x64, so that's promising.
Let's just to be safe before we do
this though.
Restart the site.
Sure. So
we'll just stop it.
Yeah.
And then start it.
Get that down. Oh gosh, Dave,
down.
This is bad news here. Look at that. Oh no.
So many people will be so upset.
The ones and ones of people hitting that site over the next 3 hours. Okay. Started the app, and we should have nothing happening. Yeah. Okay. It's in the middle of a botched deployment. So, shall I try to see if we get something else out of Kudu now? Okay. I'm kind of just half interested, to be honest. Oops. Oh, look at that. So it did something. Well, after I installed that extension, it yeah. So it's got that's the runtimes. The runtime's there. Now that doesn't necessarily help us, but it cacks out here and it's like window title. Interesting. Okay. I'm still not like not having the SDK there. I'm still kind of leery. Yeah. This one was from 5 minutes ago, so let's try a sync again, a manual sync.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? There's like some weirdness going on. Oh no. We deleted it. Yeah. Oh yes, I have a stand up here very soon. Shall we see what's going on? Why are you not sync?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I restarted it again, so we'll have to.
Yeah, so we installed the runtime, but we didn't install an SDK. So how do we...
So is that an extension as well then? Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because it's just the runtime. So let's see here. Runtime. Choose extension. How do I?
Is there no search on this thing? No.
Not here. Okay, I'm not seeing anything jumping out obvious.
Huh. That's a bummer. Is there really no way to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. What area are we deployed to here? West US, is that? So West US does not have the 3.1 SDK installed.
That's where we are.
It's still on 2.
Okay.
Wow.
Where do we...
I'm very surprised. There are only 2, according to the site I'm looking at. You can't see this, but I've just moved it on the screen so anyone viewing can. But it's a map of all the regions. And West US does have 3.1. Or West US 2 does, but West US does not. And North Central US does, and the rest don't. They don't have 3.1 yet.
Okay, so this is going to work. So now the question is, do we want to write our own build script, use a different approach,
yeah, we'll deploy from Visual
just
Studio
deploy from Visual Studio?
And then I think what we'll do is we'll tie this into GitHub Actions so that we do the build as part of our actual build process, and then the thing that we're deploying is just a package. And then all we need is the runtime on there, not the SDK.
Right. Oh, I have to actually stop this because we no longer have... Okay, right. So I guess what I will do is I'm gonna have to download the production profile. So I'm gonna actually have to do this offline because I have to get off to another meeting here. But so just the normal course of action that we would take here is we're just gonna download the publish profile, and then I'm gonna have to do. Well, I don't need to do a PR because I don't think we published the profiles out to our. No, yeah, obviously not. We're not putting that out in the open source public there. So yeah.
In terms of the passwords or whatever for doing the push. All right. Take care.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. Awesome. Thanks very much, Dave. And if anybody out there was watching and had any questions or anything, like, comment, subscribe, share, or tweet us on the Twitters.